You know that feeling, right? That sudden flash of frustration that just seems to take over your whole body? Well, that's what we're going to tackle today. How to get a handle on those powerful emotions, especially anger, so you can respond thoughtfully instead of just reacting. Let's get right into it. Oh yeah, we have all been there. That sudden, hot feeling that floods your system over something that seems so small. It's a totally universal human experience. That knee-jerk defensive response when we feel threatened or attacked or, just plain wrong.
So yeah, it feels super personal in the moment, doesn't it? But there's actually this fascinating biological process happening just under the surface. And understanding that process, well, that's the first real step to managing it. So what's actually going on inside our brains and our bodies?
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to unpack what anger actually is. Then we'll look at why letting it run the show is such a bad idea. And then we'll get to the good stuff, the practical tools you can use, both right in the moment and for long-term change. And finally, we'll see what the payoff is for mastering this skill. Okay, first things first. We've got to reframe how we even think about anger. It's not just this bad feeling that we need to shove down or avoid. It's actually a fundamental part of our human toolkit. At its most basic level, anger is a survival instinct. It's like this ancient alarm system built into our brains. When your brain senses a threat, and it doesn't really care if it's a saber-toothed tiger or just someone being rude in a meeting, it hits the panic button. Your heart starts pounding, adrenaline floods your system, your body is literally getting you ready for a fight or to run for your life. And this brings us to this crucial idea of emotional regulation. Now, it's so important to get this right. This is not about pretending you're not angry. It's not about stuffing that feeling down and bottling it up. We've all tried that, right? And it just makes things worse. Regulation is more like learning how to turn down the volume dial on the emotion so that you're in control, not the feeling itself. So why is this so critical? What's the big deal? Because when we let anger grab the steering wheel, the cost can be incredibly high, and it affects both our minds and our bodies. And look, we're not just talking about having a bad day here. When that feeling of anger becomes a chronic state, that constant drip, drip, drip of stress hormones, it takes a serious physical toll. I mean, we're talking about higher risks for things like high blood pressure and heart disease, constant headaches, even skin problems and digestive issues. It literally wears your body down from the inside out. And that's before we even get to the damage it can do to your relationships and your overall quality of life.
All right, let's get practical. You feel it bubbling up, that heat rising in your chest. What do? Like right now, in that exact moment. Think of these next few steps as pulling the emergency brake.
The whole point of these 3 steps is to interrupt that automatic anger cycle. So, step 1, just pause. Seriously, count to 20. It might feel like an eternity, but what it does is create this tiny little gap between the feeling and your reaction. And that gap is everything. Step 2, breathe. Those slow, deep breaths are like a direct message to your nervous system, telling it, hey, we're safe, you can stand down. And finally, walk it off. You've got all this adrenaline and energy coursing through you, right? It needs to go somewhere. A quick walk helps burn it off in a healthy way. Now that emergency brake is great for, well, emergencies. But the real goal, the real win, is not having to pull it so often in the first place. This is about actually rewiring your brain's default settings. This is the long game. And probably the most powerful strategy for this is something called cognitive reappraisal. I know it's a big, fancy term, but the idea is actually super simple. It's just reframing. Here's the secret. It's not the event itself that makes you angry. It's the story you tell yourself about the event. If you can change the story, you can change the emotion. It's a total game changer. Let's look at how this works. Our brain's first draft, that automatic thought, is usually really dramatic, right? This is the worst thing ever. The reframe, or the rewrite, isn't about pretending it's okay. It's just adding perspective. Okay, this is frustrating and it's okay to be upset, but it's not the end of the world. Or think about feeling dismissed in a meeting. The automatic thought is always personal. They have no respect for me. The reappraisal looks for another possible story. Maybe everyone is just really eager to contribute and they're feeling their own pressure. See what happened there? You shift from being the victim of an attack to just being an observer of a situation. It's a huge shift. And of course, reframing is just one piece of the puzzle. Other habits build a really strong foundation. Mindfulness helps you notice that little spark of anger before it becomes a wildfire. Keeping a journal can help you spot patterns you never even knew existed. Like, I'm always way more irritable on days I have a big deadline. And the basics, like good sleep and regular exercise,
They are absolutely non-negotiable. I mean, think about it. When you're exhausted, your emotional fuse is just way shorter, right? So after all this work, what's the end game? What does a life with better self-regulation actually look like and feel like? Let's talk about the payoff.
This, right here, is why this matters so much. When you can manage your emotions, you can act like the person you actually want to be, not just the person your impulses make you in the moment. You can get through tough times without completely spiraling. You bounce back from failure. You build stronger, more trusting relationships, the kind that really matter.
Ultimately, it all comes down to one word: resilience. Self-regulation is the engine that drives resilience. It's the skill that lets you face all of life's challenges and frustrations with patience, with thoughtfulness, and with the incredible power of knowing that you have a choice in how you respond.
So I'll just leave you with this one final thought. We usually think of anger as an enemy, right? Something we have to fight or defeat. But what if we saw it differently? What if anger is just a signal, a messenger that's telling you something's wrong, a boundary's been crossed, a need isn't being met? By learning to manage it, we don't silence it, we learn to listen to it. And when you can do that, you turn this disruptive force into an incredible source of information and strength.